Hello, my name is Tracy Franklin. I'm the Paramedic Program Coordinator for Somerset Community College, and I hope to answer some questions you may have about our program throughout this video. At the end of the presentation, you will find contact information for me, the Clinical Coordinator, the Dean of Health Science, and our Administrative Assistant. Any one of us can help you achieve your goal of applying to the SCC EMS Paramedic program. We have program admission twice each year. The Somerset campus cohort starts every January, and the Laurel campus cohort starts every August. Each program is 17 months in duration and runs 4 consecutive semesters, including summer. The admissions deadline for the fall Laurel cohort is always the first Friday of June. The admissions deadline for spring Somerset cohort is always the first Friday of November. Check the website to see actual cutoff dates. You should be registered as a Somerset Community College student when applying for the paramedic program. Whether you choose the Associate in Applied Science option or the Certificate option, you can finish the program in 17 months. General education courses are taken concurrently with the EMS-specific courses. Prerequisites include Biology 135 or Biology 137 and 139, Medical Terminology, and Math 110 or higher. At the present time, EMS is one of the few allied healthcare professions that does not require its educational program to be accredited. To keep pace with other health-related professions, accreditation of paramedic educational programs is critical. Only 28% of states currently require national accreditation of paramedic education programs, and only about 31% of paramedic education programs in this country are accredited. Accreditation is granted to EMS education programs through the review and recommendation of the Committee on Accreditation for the EMS Professions, also known as COEMS. The COEMS operates under the auspice of the Commission on Accreditation of Allied Health Education Programs, also known as CAHEP. CAHEP issues accreditation to paramedic education programs. CAHEP is a nonprofit, non-governmental agency which reviews and accredits over 2,000 educational programs in 20 allied health science occupations, and it is the largest medical accrediting agency in the United States. The primary purpose of program accreditation is student and public protection. This is achieved by providing an independent, external, objective, peer review of institutional and/or programmatic quality as compared with accepted national standards. This protects the student's investment in their education by ensuring they graduate from a quality program and that instructors possess adequate qualifications to teach and the necessary academic credentials. Accreditation protects the public by ensuring they receive a minimum standard of care by individuals who are properly trained. In 2013, the National Association of Emergency Medical Technicians amended the original EMT oath that was penned by Dr. Charles Gillespie. We have adopted this amended code of ethics as our program philosophy. To conserve life, alleviate suffering, promote health, do no harm, and encourage the quality and equal availability of emergency medical care. To provide services based on human need, with compassion and respect for human dignity, unrestricted by consideration of nationality, race, creed, color, or status. To not judge the merits of the patient's request for service nor allow the patient's socioeconomic status to influence our demeanor or the care that we provide. To not use professional knowledge and skills in any enterprise detrimental to the public well-being. To respect and hold in confidence all information of a confidential nature obtained in the course of professional service unless required by law to divulge such information. To use social media in a responsible and professional manner that does not discredit, dishonor, or embarrass an EMS organization, co-workers, other healthcare practitioners, patients, individuals, or the community at large. To maintain professional competence, striving always for clinical excellence in the delivery of patient care. To assume responsibility in upholding standards of professional practice and education. To assume responsibility for individual professional actions and judgment, both in dependent and independent emergency functions, and to know and uphold the laws which affect the practice of EMS. To be aware of and participate in matters of legislation and regulation affecting EMS. To work cooperatively with EMS associates and other allied healthcare professionals in the best interest of our patients. To refuse participation in unethical procedures and assume the responsibility to expose incompetence or unethical conduct of others to the appropriate authority in a proper and professional manner. The serpent and staff in the symbol portray the staff of Asclepius, an ancient Greek physician defined as the god of medicine. The staff represents medicine and healing, with the skin shedding and serpent being indicative of renewal. Each of the star's arms has meaning as well. Detection, reporting, response, on-scene care, care and transport, and transfer to definitive care are integral parts of the whole. The Star of Life is a universal symbol of emergency medical care. We place it on our ambulances, uniforms, trauma and med bags, sometimes our personal vehicles, and most of us have at least one t-shirt with the symbol on it. It can also be found on road maps and highway signs indicating the location of or access to qualified emergency medical care. The SCC EMS Paramedic Program has adopted the following 9 student learning outcomes. To provide safe and sufficient care within the legal and ethical scope of practice for the paramedic and assume accountability for their actions and the actions of subordinates. To distinguish and use communication that is appropriate amongst healthcare practitioners, individuals, groups, and populations encountered in the emergency medical field. To interpret and analyze assessment findings to formulate clinical judgments regarding individuals requiring emergency intervention, their families, and defined populations across the lifespan. To utilize critical thinking processes and problem-solving skills to effectively prioritize management of individuals in an emergency setting to achieve the most positive outcome. To manage the direct provision of emergency care through effective organizational skills, appropriate delegation and supervision within the scope of practice. These outcomes are embedded in every aspect of the program, from fundamental understanding to summative evaluation. Reflect integrity, responsibility, ethical practices, and an evolving identity as a paramedic committed to excellence in the delivery of emergency care aimed at limiting morbidity and mortality. to recognize changes in the patient's response to care, as well as special situations that occur in the emergency environment, and be able to initiate appropriate changes in care or transport. To use information and technology to communicate, manage knowledge, mitigate error, and support decision-making, and to value continuous learning within the paramedic profession. We attempt to construct more holistic lessons by using all three domains in constructing learning tasks. This diversity helps to create more well-rounded learning experiences, and it meets a number of learning styles and learning modalities. Using more diversity in delivering lessons also helps students create more neural networks and pathways, thus aiding recall. The head aspect represents cognition, knowledge, understanding, application, analysis, evaluation, and creation. The hand aspect represents psychomotor ability, reflex and perpetual movements, fundamental movements, physical abilities, skilled movements, and communication. The heart aspect represents affective behavior, attention, acquiescence, acceptance of value, organization, and characterization. We create our lessons from the National EMS Education Standards Instructional Guidelines. Students have access to these guidelines from the first day of class. We believe that this is one thing that helps our students progress confidently through the program. Beginning August 1st, 2016, all students who begin a paramedic education program are required to complete a psychomotor competency portfolio. FISTAP accreditation packages help our students complete the necessary laboratory, clinical, and field internship documents necessary to meet the National Registry Psychomotor Portfolio. The FISTAP package is used for almost every portion of the program, from scheduling shifts to entering skills to taking timed, proctored, computer-based examinations. Here you can see the EMS Paramedic Program overview. Prerequisites for the paramedic sequence are medical terminology, applied mathematics, and biology 135 or biology 137 and 139. The core courses are listed here and divided by semester. Additional general education courses for the Associate in Applied Science degree option are English 101, Communications, Digital Literacy, Psychology 110, and a Heritage and Humanities course. General education courses are completed along with the EMS core courses. If the certificate program is chosen, then the Associate in Applied Science degree can be completed at a later date. We offer the Associate in Applied Science degree completion to those paramedics who currently hold national or Kentucky licensure. A program flyer with this information is located on the SCC website under Academics, then Program Finder, then under EMS Paramedic. A course plan of study can be found under Academics, then Program Finder, then under EMS Paramedic. From here, you can choose either the certificate or the AAS degree. The Kentucky Board of EMS defines the parameters for qualified paramedic student through administrative regulation. A qualified student meets the following criteria. Individuals shall be eligible to enroll as a student in a paramedic education and training program if the applicant is at least 18 years of age, holds a high school diploma or GED, understands, reads, speaks, and writes the English language with a comprehension and performance level equal to at least the 9th grade of education, holds current unrestricted certification as an EMT in Kentucky, or holds current unrestricted registration with the National Registry as an EMT Basic, is not currently subject to disciplinary actions that would prevent licensure, meets all additional requirements established by the training institution, and holds a valid motor vehicle operator's license from a state or territory in the United States. If you meet this criteria, then you need to register as an SCC student through the online application process. Choose paramedic pending when given the plan of study option on the application. Then you'll need to complete placement testing if you do not have an ACT or SAT score that can be sent to the college. Once your application is complete and all transcripts and test scores have been submitted, you'll want to register for your prerequisite courses listed on the plan of study form that you will be following, either the degree or certificate. After that, please complete the point system application, the letter of intent, and return all necessary documents to me. You can mail the documents to Somerset Community College at 808 Monticello Street, Somerset, Kentucky 42501. Or you can bring them to my office on either the Somerset South Campus or the Laurel North Campus. The applicants are vetted through a selective admissions process. The point system used for this is located on the SCC website under Education and Training, Program Finder, then EMS Paramedic. You receive points for GED scores or high school GPA, ACT and SAT scores, previous successful college courses with a C or above, years of EMT service, years of military service, completion of fitness courses, and additional licenses or memberships that reflect professional EMS standards. As often as possible, we try to keep abreast of any scholarship information that's beneficial to our program students. You can find these scholarship opportunities on the SCC website or through the Financial Aid Office. Listed here are some scholarships that are available to the EMS paramedic students. One of the most popular last dollar scholarships for EMS students is the Work Ready Scholarship. This is available to both certificate and degree-seeking students. The completed scholarship application and all required documentation must be returned or postmarked by March 1st for fall semester, July 1st as a secondary deadline for leftover funding for fall semester, or by December 1st, which is the deadline for scholarships for spring semester. You can apply online for SCC scholarship opportunities. As a side note, scholarships do not cover additional fees, which will need to be paid by other means. Most specialty programs have additional costs that are not widely advertised. On the Somerset Community College website, under Education and Training, then on Program Finder, then under EMS Paramedic, you will find an actual price list of additional costs that you will be responsible for. We use FISDAP accreditation package. Purchasing directly from the company is cheaper than using the bookstore, but you cannot use financial aid with this option. You will pay a one-time fee and you will use the FISDAP account throughout each component of the program. We use a company that maintains health science student immunizations, background checks, and drug screens. Students must pay for this account, which is not covered by financial aid, and pay an annual account renewal every year enrolled in the program. Part of being in the clinical and field setting is patient care. This is why you're required to purchase liability insurance while you are a student. The fee is very little, but the policy is beneficial. Textbook prices are listed on the bookstore website. Sometimes students can find books cheaper on other websites or even from program graduates. Uniform prices vary depending on the brand of uniform pants and shirt that you choose. All uniform shirts will come from Sergeant Joe's, located in Somerset, Kentucky. They are the only vendor approved to embroider our logo. Upon graduation, you will be responsible for testing fees and licensure fees. Psychomotor testing fees vary by location. These are posted on the National Registry of EMT website, along with the price of the cognitive exam. Students receive certification in ACLS, PALS, and PHTLS during the course. The cost of the card is included in the tuition, but the cost of the PHTLS hybrid lecture is not. Students will pay this directly to the PHTLS vendor. There is a time commitment for the paramedic program. For each course, you should consider approximately 9 hours of classroom or lab time each week. You will also have approximately 12 hours of clinical time each week. And for every hour of lecture, you should consider 4 hours of independent study for outside of class. The program is 17 consecutive months of lecture, lab, and clinicals, and your last semester is field internship and summation. Additional information that you may want to know as a student are current clinical sites and current field internship sites. It is important to understand that due to scheduling restraints, travel may be required to one of the locations listed here. While you may be enrolled as a student in Somerset or as a student on the Laurel campus, you may need to travel to an outlying hospital based on availability of clinical preceptors or based on availability of field internship preceptors. It's also important to note that because this is a selective program, meetings can occur during institutional closings and holidays, and there may be a mandatory orientation prior to the first day of the semester. If you have additional questions, you can contact me, Tracy Franklin. My email address is tracy.franklin@kctcs.edu. My office phone number is 606-387-3718. If you leave a voice message, it will automatically be transferred to my email address, so I will always get your message. Samantha Feldman is the clinical coordinator for the paramedic program, and she is also the lead instructor on the Laurel campus. You can contact her at samantha.feldman@kctcs.edu. Her office phone number is 606-878-4838. Nancy Powell is the Dean of Health Science. You can contact Nancy at nancy.powell@kctcs.edu. Tanya Cowan is the Health Science Administrative Assistant. She can answer any questions you may have. Her email address is tanya.cowan@kctcs.edu. I hope I was able to answer some questions you may have about our paramedic program, and please contact any one of us should you have more questions before the